Welcome, and thank you for being here. This is your time to slow down, to release the weight of the day. Make yourself comfortable. Settle into bed. Rest your head on your pillow. And if you can, lower the lights until the room feels calm and quiet. Before we begin, I'd love to ask you a small favor. When you have a moment, please write in the comments where in the world you're listening from and what time it is for you. I'm always so curious to see how far these videos can reach, and it makes me feel connected to each of you. If this video helps you rest, please remember to like and subscribe. It's a small gesture, but it truly helps the video find others who might also need comfort and sleep tonight. My wish is simple, that you won't make it to the end because your body will relax, your mind will soften, and sleep will gently take over long before we finish. And if you ever have ideas for future topics, please let me know in the comments. I want this channel to be a place built for you. Take a deep breath, let it out slowly, and let's begin together. You are resting in the quiet of your small chamber, the morning light just beginning to sift through the latticed windows. The palace is alive with sound, though it feels distant, as though the entire world exists outside your room. The soft rustle of silk and a faint echo of footsteps are the only things that remind you of the sprawling labyrinth around you. A knock at the door makes your heart leap into your throat. A maid's timid voice calls your name. You rise, hands trembling, and approach. She bows, eyes downcast, then murmurs words that make the room spin around you. The Sultan has summoned you. You are to serve him tonight. You falter, fingers clutching at your gown, as though it can anchor you to the floor. The words sound heavy, almost impossible to believe. Fear coils in your stomach. You have heard whispers of the Sultan's grandeur, the power he commands, the eunuchs who patrol the corridors like silent shadows. And now, for reasons you cannot fully grasp, he has chosen you. Her memory surfaces unbidden. The pool, cool and glimmering, where you had bathed the other morning. Your skin slick and shining in the sun. Perhaps it was then. Perhaps it was the way your hair caught the light, or your posture in the water, that someone's eyes marked you. The thought leaves a blush creeping across your cheeks. You are a virgin. And now, all that vulnerability is being led into the most powerful man's chamber in the empire. They made gestures for you to follow. Every step toward the hallway feels heavier than the last. Your palm sweats as you navigate the polished marble floors, each echoing footfall a drumbeat of your rising panic. You pass corridors lined with golden decorations, torches flickering and casting dancing shadows on the walls. The palace is vast, its corridors long and winding, yet each turn brings you closer to the unknown. Along the way, you catch glimpses of other women. Some glance in your direction, whispering to one another, their expressions knowing and curious. They have been through this, and you are just beginning. The thought twists in your chest. Will they pity you? Will they mock? Will they quietly cheer for your selection? You cannot know. Your mind races, imagining the chamber beyond. The Sultan's gaze, the attendant's scrutiny, the ceremonial expectation. Each moment, each step tightens the coil of anxiety in your stomach. And yet, beneath the fear, a strange flicker of excitement shivers through you. The thrill of being chosen, of stepping into a world so far from the small, quiet life you have known. The maid glances back at you, sensing your unease. Do not fear, she whispers, though her tone carries its own nervous tremor. You are ready. You will please him. But her words offer little comfort. How can you be ready for something so overwhelming, so intimate, so public in its secrecy? And so you continue, guided by quiet hands, through the halls of the palace, each footfall echoing like a warning and a summons all at once. The sunlight glints off polished walls, catching on gold leaf and intricate carvings, reflecting your own apprehensive eyes. You realize that in a few hours, nothing will feel private again. Every step, every whisper, every glance will be observed. The palace is alive, and you are now its newest focus. The anticipation coils tighter, a mixture of dread, where the personal is public, and where your innocence and vulnerability will be examined and acknowledged. And yet, despite every fear, you cannot stop walking toward it. The first step into the Sultan's world has been taken. The rest will follow. The maid guides you into a smaller, cooler chamber, its marble walls flickering faintly in the morning light. Steam rises from a wide basin, scented with rose water and herbs. You hesitate at the threshold, heart hammering. Every instinct urges you to flee, but you cannot. The summons is final. Tonight, the Sultan will see you. Attendants begin their work immediately, their hands gentle yet firm. They draw water into the basin, dipping delicate sponges, and coax you to step in. You feel the first shock of cold marble under your feet. Then the warm touch of water as it laps against your skin. Every movement is observed. How to hold yourself, how to react to their guidance, how your body shifts under the ministrations of strangers. They scrub you carefully, soaping and rinsing. Every brush of a hand across your shoulder or back, sending a shiver through you. Your skin prickles with awareness. Every motion, every ripple in the water is a silent examination. You try to look away, to focus on the water rather than their gaze. But the mirror of the polished basin reflects you, and you cannot escape yourself. Then comes the perfuming. The attendants dab oils and powders along your arms, neck, and hair. Each scent is heady: rose, jasmine, musk, feeling your senses and making your head swim. Your fingers tremble as they comb and braid your hair, weaving fine ribbons through the strands. You feel utterly exposed, yet adorned, and the paradox twists your stomach into knots. One of the elder women guides your hands to your nails, trimming and shaping them with small, precise scissors. Even this intimate attention feels like a performance. Each snip, a reminder that every detail of your being is for scrutiny. Tiny motions are magnified under their careful gaze. The way you breathe, the tension in your shoulders, the quick dart of your eyes. Your chest tightens as the attendants wrap you in layers of silk, soft, heavy, perfumed layers that cling to your body. They are just ribbons and embroidery, smoothing hems, ensuring nothing is out of place. You feel the weight of the fabrics as a literal and figurative pressure. Every fold, every stitch, a reminder that nothing about you is private tonight. They whisper instructions, murmuring about your posture, your expressions, and your composure. You try to steady your breathing, to feel grace instead of panic. But it is impossible. Your mind replays the thought again. The Sultan will see this. He will know. The maids noticed your station, offering quiet encouragement, but their eyes are always assessing. When the final layer is arranged, you stand before the mirror. The reflection that greets you is dazzling and terrifying. Silk clings to your form, hair braided and scented, hands delicately positioned. Yet beneath the beauty lies your raw vulnerability. You realize how exposed you feel, not in nudity alone, but in every glance, every whispered word, every delicate touch that shaped you this morning. The attendants step back, nodding in approval. You are ready, one whispers, though her tone carries more awe than reassurance. And indeed, you feel ready in body, but not in spirit. The anxiety coils in your stomach like a living thing, tugging at your chest, reminding you that the night is still ahead. With a final glance at your reflection, you let the attendants guide you toward the hallway once more. The polished marble gleams beneath your feet. Torches flicker in the long corridors, and the palace seems to hold its breath. Every step takes you closer to the Sultan's chamber, to the unknown, to the ceremonial night that will mark the beginning of everything. You walk slowly, each movement deliberate, every nerve alert. The perfume clings to your skin. The silk slides against itself as you move. You feel the eyes of the attendants, the whispers along the walls, even if no one is visible. You are the center of a ritual that balances on the knife edge of power, submission, and spectacle. And yet, despite every shiver of fear, every pang of embarrassment, a strange anticipation curls within you, an awareness that this night, though awkward, controlled, and terrifying, will change everything. You are about to step fully into the world of the Sultan, and nothing will ever be the same again. The maids guide you from the bathing chamber, their hands steadying yours as your silk-covered feet glide across the polished marble. The corridor stretches ahead, long and echoing, torches flickering and casting tall shadows that dance across the golden walls. Every step feels heavier than the last, and your heart hammers with each echo. You cannot help but notice the palace alive around you. Eunuchs pass silently, their eyes quick and assessing. Yet they make no move to speak. Occasionally, you glimpse other women in the distance, their whispers trailing behind them, soft giggles brushing the air. You imagine them watching, speculating, wondering how the Sultan's attention will fall upon you, how you will manage the ceremony. The attendants hold you upright, their hands warm on your arms, guiding you down the corridors. Your thoughts spin. The Sultan waits. The very idea makes your stomach tighten, a coil of nerves and anticipation twisting inside. What will he think of you? Will you appear graceful, or clumsy, naive, and awkward? You swallow against a lump rising in your throat. Along the way, you pass gilded arches, ornate tapestries, and mosaics reflecting light in dazzling patterns. The palace seems to pulse with life. Every torch, every echoing footstep, every distant murmur, a reminder that you are not alone. Even the shadows seem to move with intent, stretching toward you, reminding you of the ritual yet to come. Your hands cling to the folds of your silk, adjusting them automatically, though the attendants watch and correct your every motion. Each touch, each tug at a ribbon or hem magnifies your awareness. Your cheeks burn with the thought of how many eyes may be assessing you as you move, how your every gesture is observed, judged, catalogued. Finally, you reach a small antechamber, richly adorned with carpets and cushions, scented subtly with rose water. Here, the attendants pause, whispering quick instructions, smoothing hair, and adjusting the silk layers once more. You feel your pulse spike as the door to the Sultan's private chamber looms ahead. Beyond it lies the man whose gaze will decide your fate tonight, whose attention will mark the first night of a life you have only just begun to imagine. One of the senior attendants murmurs softly, "Breathe. You are ready." But her words do little to calm the coil of nerves in your stomach. You know readiness is irrelevant. The ritual will proceed, whether you feel prepared or not. You nod, trying to steady your trembling hands, feeling the silk slide against your skin as you straighten your posture. The doors to the chamber open with a quiet creak, revealing the interior at last. Gold and velvet, silk drapes and cushions, faint incense curling in the air. You step forward, each footfall echoing on the polished floor, the eyes of the Sultan unseen but imagined, weighing upon you. The attendants guide you closer, hands lingering briefly to correct a fold, smooth a ribbon, and each touch feels magnified under the weight of expectation. You are acutely aware of every sound, the distant murmur of other palace servants, the soft shuffle of silk, your own shallow breath. The chamber seems impossibly vast, yet every inch of it presses in on you, as though it too is aware of the ritual about to unfold. Your heart pounds, your skin tingles, and a flush spreads across your cheeks. The embarrassment, anticipation, and fear coil together, sharp and insistent. The attendant to your side inclines slightly and whispers, "Step forward and do not falter." The Sultan waits. You nod, fingers clutching the silk, eyes cast downward. Yet your mind races with questions of what awaits. The corridor, the hall, the chamber, and the unknown man at its center, all blur together, leaving only the singular thought. You are about to enter a world where the ceremonial and the intimate intertwine, where vulnerability is displayed and scrutinized, and where your every motion will be measured. With a final, quiet breath, you allow yourself to be guided fully into the Sultan's chamber. The doors close behind you with a soft thud. The attendants, lingering just enough to ensure that their ritual is observed, but distant enough to remind you of the power you are now facing. The space is silent, except for your own breathing and a faint rustle of silk. You stand there, aware of the weight of your garments, the cool marble beneath your feet, and the presence of the man whose gaze may seem invisible, but it felt in every nerve. Embarrassment, awe, and trepidation blend into a single, searing sensation that tightens your chest and quickens your pulse. You realize that tonight is no longer a distant concept. It is here, it is real, and there is no turning back. The heavy doors of the Sultan's chamber loom before you. Their carved wood, adorned with gold filigree that glints in the torchlight. You pause for a moment, feeling the weight of every expectation pressing down on your shoulders. The attendants who have guided you this far linger just long enough to smooth a fold of silk, brush a stray strand of hair from your face, and adjust your posture. Then they step back, leaving you to face what you have anticipated, feared, and imagined countless times. Your pulse races. The chamber is vast, draped in crimson and gold, filled with soft cushions and rich tapestries. The faint scent of incense curls in the air, mingling with the lingering aroma of perfumed oils applied to your skin hours before. You can feel the layers of silk clinging to your body, heavy and fragrant, a constant reminder that you are on display, even in the privacy of this room. And then you see him, Suleiman, seated on a low divan, his expression calm but assessing, his gaze fixed upon you. The power emanating from him is almost tangible, a quiet gravity that pulls at your very core. Your chest tightens, breath catching in your throat. You're acutely aware of every heartbeat, every shiver, every flicker of your eyelashes. Stuff forward by unknocking tones softly, and you obey, feet moving slowly, deliberately, across the polished marble floor. Each echo of your footfalls seems impossibly loud, announcing your presence to the unseen observers, the attendants who will remain just beyond the room, the eyes of the court imagined in every shadow. You feel a blush creeping up your neck, curling into your ears, burning with embarrassment and fear. Suleiman's eyes linger on you, quiet but intense, noting your posture, the tilt of your head, the way you shift your weight. You feel utterly exposed under his gaze, as if every private thought, every flutter of your nerves, is transparent. The attendants stand back, hands folded, ensuring the ritual is maintained, but making your vulnerability even more apparent. One of the senior women approaches to guide you through the ceremonial undressing. Your hands tremble as she takes hold of a ribbon, carefully undoing it. Each layer of silk removed feels like a small surrender, a public acknowledgement of your exposure. Even in this private space, your skin prickles with awareness. The soft brush of hands, the faint rustle of silk, the subtle glances of the attendants. Every detail is magnified in your mind. Every motion a potential point of judgment. Your thoughts whirled. How will he react? Will you appear graceful, timid, obedient, or foolish? Every instinct urges you to retreat, yet you cannot. You are here, chosen, and the ritual demands completion. The embarrassment coils tighter, mingling with a curious thrill that you barely allow yourself to acknowledge. The attendants step back just enough to give the Sultan space, yet close enough that their presence is felt. A quiet reminder of the ceremonial scrutiny. You stand here, partially undressed, silk grapes just so, heart hammering, every nerve alight. You feel the contrast of fear and anticipation, of shame and wonder, swirling through you. Suleiman rises slightly, his gaze steady and appraising. He does not speak immediately. The silence stretches, punctuated only by the soft shuffle of attendants suggesting a caution or smoothing a hem. The tension is almost unbearable, a living thing coiling around your chest. You swallow hard, cheeks flaming, wishing for invisibility, yet unable to stop your trembling hands from brushing against the silk, still clinging to your body. The ritual continues with careful precision. He gestures subtly, a sign for the attendants to adjust your position on the cushions to ensure proper form and decorum. Every movement, every sigh of silk, every controlled breath is observed. You feel as though your entire being is under a magnifying glass, every detail scrutinized. Your posture, your hands, your expression, your very breath. And through it all, your mind spins. This is not simply a meeting, not simply a ritual. It is a test, a ceremonial introduction to a world you do not really understand fully. A place where power, intimacy, and spectacle intertwine. The fear twists with fascination. You are aware that in this moment, every action is measured, every glance noted, and every blush recorded. If not in memory, then in subtle whispers behind the silken drapes. The minutes stretch and fold, each one heavy with tension. The attendants, silent but present, ensured the ritual proceeds according to the strict expectations of the court. You feel simultaneously cared for and exposed, guided and observed, intimate, yet painfully aware of every eye, real or imagined, upon you. Finally, the Sultan settles back. The ritual momentarily paused, allowing you a fleeting breath. You're aware of your trembling hands, your flushed cheeks, the soft beat of your pulse in your ears. You realize that the first encounter is only a prelude to the bedding ritual, that tonight will continue into a ceremony that tests both composure and courage. Yet even in this brief respite, the intensity of the moment lingers, leaving you both terrified and mesmerized, acutely conscious of your vulnerability and the extraordinary circumstances into which you have been thrust. You take a quiet breath, trying to steady your racing heart, knowing that the attendants will soon guide you toward the next step. The first meeting, this careful ceremonial introduction, has marked the beginning. The night is still ahead, full of ritual, observation, and the inescapable awareness of your new life unfolding under the watchful eyes of the Sultan and his court. The cushions are arranged, soft and fragrant, forming a low, inviting platform at the center of the chamber. The attendants guide you forward, your silk-covered feet barely making a sound on the polished marble floor. Every step feels heavy, weighted with expectation, ritual, and the silent gaze of unseen observers. Your chest tightens, pulse racing. This is it, the culmination of everything you have been preparing for. You feel the hands of the senior attendant adjust your posture, tilt your chin, smooth the folds of silk along your shoulders. Every touch is precise, deliberate, reminding you that this night is not only about intimacy, but about ceremony, about appearance and propriety. You remind yourself that you must not falter, that the lessons you have been taught are your lifeline tonight. You must remember every gesture, every step, every motion that will signal obedience, grace, and attentiveness. The Sultan watches you quietly, his gaze steady and measuring. You are acutely aware of the contrast between his calm control and your own trembling. You feel as though every heartbeat is amplified, every breath audible in the hushed chamber. The attendants step just far enough away to let the ritual unfold. Yet their presence is never far, a reminder of the ceremonial scrutiny under which you exist. A senior concubine whispers instructions softly. Adjust this hand. Shift that shoulder. Breathe evenly. The advice is practical and precise. Yet, your mind races to absorb everything. The tiniest detail might matter. You remind yourself of what they have taught. How to move, how to respond to subtle cues, how to maintain composure, even when every nerve screams with anxiety. You cannot forget a single step. Failure is not an option. As you settle onto the cushions, the silk sliding against your skin feels heavier. Each layer a reminder of how visible and scrutinized you are. Your cheeks burn at the thought of what it means to be here, in this position, under the eyes of the Sultan and the attendants. Embarrassment twists with anticipation. Your body feels simultaneously exposed and adorned. Every fiber of your being is alert, every muscle tense. The Sultan gestures, subtle and deliberate, and the attendants make minor adjustments to your position, arranging cushions, smoothing fabrics, and ensuring everything conforms to ceremonial expectations. You feel the weight of their eyes, even when their faces are calm and impassive. Every motion of your hands, every tilt of your head, every sigh is observed. You are aware that even in silence, the ritual is alive, and your performance is measured against invisible standards you have only just begun to understand. You remember the lessons drilled into you, the importance of composure, of poise, of timing. Each moment requires attention. Each movement has significance. You must respond, anticipate, and act with grace, or risk displeasing the Sultan and incurring subtle consequences in the hierarchy of the harem. Anxiety coils tighter in your stomach, your pulse thundering in your ears. And yet, beneath the fear, there is a strange flicker of fascination. The Sultan's presence is powerful, his gaze commanding, and though it fills you with nervousness, it also makes you acutely aware of the unique position you now occupy. To be chosen, to be at the center of this ceremonial night, is terrifying, yes, but also significant. You feel a shiver of awareness that this is a turning point, the moment when your life in the harem begins in earnest. The attendants continue their quiet guidance, whispering reminders, smoothing fabrics, adjusting positions. Each instruction reminds you of your vulnerability and your responsibility. You recall every lesson from the senior concubines, how to respond to subtle shifts of attention, how to maintain eye contact without overstepping, how to remain graceful while nerves threaten to betray your. Your thoughts spiral, cataloging each step, each expected gesture, as though your survival depends on remembering them all. Time seems to stretch and bend. Minutes feel like hours as you sit there, poised, alert, aware of every sensation. The silk against your skin, the faint scent of perfumed oils, the soft rustle of the attendant's garments, the measured breath of the Sultan. You feel exposed yet protected, observed yet guided, a participant in a ritual that is intimate but ceremonial, personal but public in its scrutiny. Finally, a subtle gesture from the Sultan indicates that the formal part of the bedding ceremony has reached its pause. The attendants step back slightly, their presence still a quiet reassurance and reminder. You breathe deeply, feeling your pulse slowly descend, but never fully release. Your hands rest lightly on your silk-covered lap, still trembling, your mind replaying the lessons, instructions, and expectations that have brought you through this delicate, painstaking ritual. Even in the pause, the chamber is alive with tension, with unspoken expectations and ritualized observation. You are hyper-aware of every detail, your posture, your hands, the tilt of your chin, the way you hold your breath. This first night is not simply about intimacy. It is about demonstrating grace, obedience, and composure. And you are determined to succeed, to remember everything you were taught, and to perform flawlessly under scrutiny. The attendants offer soft murmurs of guidance, subtly reminding you of your training. A shift of the hand, a tilt of the shoulder, a quiet inhale to steady nerves. Each suggestion, though gentle, reinforces your awareness that this night will be measured in gestures, in attentiveness, in the quiet art of pleasing and responding to the Sultan's presence. The anxiety mingles with a strange, cautious curiosity. You are aware that what you are learning here will shape your life, your status, and your survival in the palace. As the night stretches onward, you realize that the ceremonial and intimate are inseparable, that every touch, every glance, every movement carries weight. And in that realization, your embarrassment and anticipation coalesce into a heightened awareness. You are at the center of a ritual that balances power, observation, vulnerability, and the memory of this night will linger long after the attendants have guided you away and the first morning light spills across the chamber. The first light of morning filtered softly through the lattice windows, casting geometric patterns across the cushions and silken drapes of the Sultan's chamber. You steer under the weight of the silk blankets, limbs heavy, heart still racing from the night's ceremonial ritual. Every muscle feels taut from tension and anticipation. Your body, acutely aware of every glance, every movement, and every instruction you have tried to memorize. A soft rustle of footsteps alerts you. The attendants are already here, moving quietly but efficiently. One approaches with a basin of warm water, the scent of rose and sandalwood rising in delicate curls. Your pulse jumps. You are reminded again of the eyes that have been on you all night. And though they are gentle, the sense of being observed lingers. You instinctively adjust the folds of your silk, your hands trembling slightly as the attendant steps closer to guide you. The process begins with gentle instruction. A hand reaches to your wrist, steadying you, guiding your movements. Another smooths your hair, tugs lightly to undo knots. And the sensation is both comforting and intensely embarrassing. You feel like a child under the scrutiny of adults, except that the stakes are far higher. Every motion is noted. Every slip or hesitation, a reflection of your performance from the night before. As the warm water touches your skin, washing away the night, your cheeks burn. It is intimate, but not private. The attendants' careful movements, their quiet murmurs of instruction, and the constant presence of the women who trained you make every act feel public. You lower your gaze, wishing you could disappear, but the ritual demands your cooperation. A touch of another on your skin, while meant to prepare and honor you, sends a shiver of self-consciousness through you. You are hyper-aware of your body, of the small trembles in your hands, of the flush that rises in your chest and spreads to your neck and ears. After washing comes the dressing. Silks and layers of fine fabrics are arranged, draped, and pinned. Every ribbon, every fold, every delicate adjustment reminds you of the ceremonial importance of presentation. You shift awkwardly under the attendant's practiced hands, trying to comply without faltering, acutely conscious of how your every movement is scrutinized. The embarrassment is compounded by the lingering memory of the night before, the ritual, the intensity, a constant awareness that you were observed even in your most private moments. As in your concubine leans close to whisper guidance, you must walk lightly, sit with elegance, maintain booster. You nod silently, cheeks still flushed, and try to steady your hands as you adjust the folds of your skirt. Each motion feels monumental. Every small mistake seems amplified. A public acknowledgement of your inexperience. The training from the night before is alive in your mind. A constant checklist you must follow to navigate this delicate ritual successfully. When the final layers of silk are settled, the attendants step back slightly, allowing you a moment to breathe. Yet there is no full relief. The subtle scrutiny remains. Your posture, your expression, your composure are still measured against invisible standards. You sense the quiet acknowledgement of your survival, the faint nods or murmured words of approval from those who have guided you. These small gestures carry immense weight. They are your first reward, the first recognition that you have performed well in this delicate, humiliating, and intimate ceremony. Even as the morning light grows stronger, the tension from the night lingers in every fiber of your being. You feel both exhausted and alert, embarrassed and strangely proud. The first night, the ceremonial bedding, the careful observation, and the attentive guidance have left their mark. You know that the path ahead in the harem is still uncertain, that favors must be earned, and that every gesture, every moment, every carefully measured action will continue to matter. As you rise and move through the chamber, your steps are cautious but deliberate. You are aware that the attendants will guide you back to your quarters, where the routines of daily harem life await. The washing of linens, the preparation of meals, the attention to the sultan's needs. Yet, beneath the mundane repetition lies the quiet understanding that you have crossed an important threshold, that the ritual of the first night has been successfully navigated, and that you have survived, not unscathed, but intact. And as you leave the chamber, silk flowing around you, cheeks still flushed with embarrassment, you carry with you the memory of the night, the weight of expectation, the intensity of observation, the careful guidance, and the sharp awareness of your own vulnerability. The Sultan's favor, the attention of the attendants, the structure of the Hurrem, all loom ahead. A complex web of power, ritual, and survival. But for now, the morning brings a quiet sense of accomplishment, a private acknowledgement that you have endured, and the lingering blush of a night that will not soon be forgotten.